listening to the Holy Bible 1-Year Challenge with Master Storyteller Michael Wood, featuring the easy-to-read version and used by permission from Bible League International. Enjoy the show!
Hello everyone, welcome to day 41. We're continuing in the book of Exodus, and God decides to display his power to Pharaoh. But the interesting thing that people were probably not expecting is that Pharaoh has magicians and wizards, and they were able to do a lot of the same miracles God does. But then God pulls some miracles that the wizards can't do. And that's when things get serious. What's it going to take to convince Pharaoh to let the people go? We're also continuing in the book of Matthew, and Jesus is arrested. And he must not only face the crowd, but he now faces the religious leaders of the time. But they can't seem to find any crime that Jesus committed that's worthy of death, the death penalty. And one thing to understand, historically and politically, the religious leaders, they had their own sort of church police, if you will, and so they had the power to arrest. But one thing they could not do is pass on the death penalty. They would have to give Jesus over to Rome for that. And Rome, they don't want to hear any of this prophecy stuff or that he's the Son of God and it's blasphemy. To the Romans, they can care less about that. So it's going to be a challenge for the religious leaders to come up with a crime that's punishable by death. But that doesn't stop them from torturing Jesus. Imagine taking a criminal defendant and literally beating him right there in the courtroom. You'll have to stay with us to hear all the detail. If you enjoy the show, visit me at patreon.com/storymaster. You'll find the link in the description box below. By contributing as little as $1 per month, you will enable me to continue this ministry, and you'll get cool rewards too. Together, we're going to get through the Bible in 1 year. Let's get started. Exodus chapter 6, verses 13 to 30. But the Lord talked with Moses and Aaron, and commanded them to go and talk to the Israelites and to Pharaoh. Lead the Israelites out of the land of Egypt. Some of the families of Israel. These are the names of the leaders of the families of Israel. Israel's first son, Reuben, had 4 sons. They were Hanok, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. Simeon's sons were Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shaul. Shaul was the son from a Canaanite woman. Levi lived 137 years. His sons were Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Gershon had 2 sons, Libni and Shammai. Kohath lived 133 years. His sons were Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. Merari's sons were Mali and Mushi. All these families were from Israel's son Levi. Amram lived 137 years. He married his father's sister, Jochebed. Amram and Jochebed gave birth to Aaron and Moses. Izhar's sons were Korah, Nepheg, and Zikri. Uzziel's sons were Mishael, Elzaphan, and Sithri. Aaron married Elisheba. Elisheba was the daughter of Amminadab and the sister of Nahshon. Aaron and Elisheba gave birth to Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. The sons of Korah, that is, the ancestors of the Korahites, were Asir, Elkanah, and Abiasaph. Aaron's son, Eleazar, married a daughter of Putiel. She gave birth to Phinehas. All these people were from Israel's son, Levi. Aaron and Moses were from this tribe, and they are the men the Lord spoke to and said,
"Lead my people out of Egypt in divisions."
Aaron and Moses are the men who talked to Pharaoh and told him to let the Israelites leave Egypt. The Lord spoke to Moses again in the land of Egypt. He said,
"I am the Lord. Tell the king of Egypt everything I tell you."
Moses answered, "But Lord, you know I'm not a good speaker. Why would Pharaoh listen to me?" Exodus chapter 7. The Lord said to Moses,
You can be sure of this. I am sending you to be like God to Pharaoh. You will give him orders through your brother Aaron, who will be your prophet. You will tell Aaron everything I have commanded you. Then he will tell the king to let the Israelites go free. But I will make Pharaoh stubborn, so that he will not do what you tell him. Then I will do many signs and wonders in Egypt to prove who I am. But he will still refuse to listen. So I will strike Egypt with my fist. I will punish them with a powerful show of force and lead my army, my people, out of that land. And when I strike down the people of Egypt and take the Israelites away from them, they will know that I am the Lord.
Moses and Aaron did what the Lord told them. Moses was 80 years old at the time, and Aaron was 83. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron,
Pharaoh will tell you to do a miracle to prove your power. When he does this, tell Aaron to throw his walking stick down in front of Pharaoh, and it will become a snake.
So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and did what the Lord told them to do. Aaron threw his walking stick down. While Pharaoh and his officials watched, the stick became a snake. So Pharaoh called for his advisors and fortune tellers. These magicians were able to use their secret powers to do the same thing Aaron did. They threw their walking sticks on the ground, and their sticks became snakes. But then Aaron's walking stick ate theirs. Pharaoh still refused to let the people go, just as the Lord had said. Pharaoh refused to listen to Moses and Aaron. Then the Lord said to Moses,
Pharaoh is being stubborn. He refuses to let the people go. In the morning, Pharaoh will go out to the river. Go to him by the edge of the Nile River. Take the walking stick that became a snake. Tell him this: The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, sent me to you. He told me to tell you to let his people go and worship him in the desert. Until now, you have not listened to the Lord. So the Lord says that he will do something to show you that he is the Lord. I will strike the water of the Nile River with this walking stick in my hand. The river will turn into blood. The fish in the river will die, and the river will begin to stink. Then the Egyptians will not be able to drink the water from the river.
The Lord said to Moses,
Tell Aaron to hold the walking stick in his hand over the rivers, canals, lakes, and every place where they store water. When he does this, all the water will turn into blood. All the water, even the water stored in wood and stone jars, will turn into blood.
So Moses and Aaron did what the Lord commanded. As Pharaoh and his officials watched, Aaron raised the walking stick and struck the water in the Nile River. All the water changed to blood. The fish in the Nile died, and the river began to smell so bad that the Egyptians could not drink the water. The blood was everywhere in Egypt. But the Egyptian magicians used their secret powers to do the same thing. So Pharaoh refused to listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord had said. Pharaoh turned away and went into his palace. He paid no attention to what had happened. The Egyptians could not drink the water from the river, so they dug wells by the river for water to drink. 7 days passed after the Lord changed the Nile River. Exodus chapter 8. Then the Lord told Moses,
Go to Pharaoh and tell him that the Lord says, Let my people go to worship me. If you refuse to let my people go, I will punish you by filling Egypt with frogs. The Nile River will overflow with frogs. It will come from the river and enter your palace. It will be in your bedroom and on your bed. It will be in the houses of your officials and your people. It will be all over where you cook and prepare your food. You will have frogs jumping on you, your people, and your officials.
Then the Lord said to Moses,
Tell Aaron to hold the walking stick in his hand over the canals, rivers, and lakes. This will bring the frogs out to cover the land of Egypt.
So Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs began coming out of the water and covered the land of Egypt. The magicians used their secret powers to do the same thing, so even more frogs came out onto the land. Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron and said,
Pray to the Lord and ask him to remove the frogs from me and my people. Then I will let the people go to offer sacrifices to the Lord.
Moses said to Pharaoh, I will let you decide when you want me to pray for you, your people, and your officials. Then you and your houses will be free from the frogs, and they will be only in the Nile River. When do you want this to happen? Pharaoh said.
Tomorrow.
Moses said, It will be done as you have said. Then you will know that there is none like the Lord our God. You, your houses, your officials, and your people will be free from the frogs. There will not be any frogs left except in the Nile. Then Moses and Aaron left Pharaoh. Moses cried out to the Lord about the frogs he had sent against Pharaoh. And the Lord did what Moses asked. The frogs in the houses, and the yards, and in the fields all died. The Egyptians gathered the dead frogs into pile after pile. They began to rot, and the whole country began to stink. But when Pharaoh saw that they were free of the frogs, he again became stubborn. So he did not do what Moses and Aaron asked. This was exactly what the Lord had said would happen. Then the Lord said to Moses,
Tell Aaron to raise his walking stick and strike the dust on the ground. And everywhere in Egypt, dust will become gnats.
They did this. Aaron raised the stick in his hand and struck the dust on the ground. And every speck of dust in Egypt became a gnat. The gnats covered the people and the animals. The magicians tried to do the same thing with their secret powers, but they could not do it. The gnats covered the people and the animals. So the magicians told Pharaoh that it was God who did this. But Pharaoh refused to listen to them, just as the Lord had said. The Lord said to Moses,
Get up in the morning and go to Pharaoh. He will go out to the river. Tell him that the Lord says, Let my people go and worship me. If you don't let my people go, flies will come into your houses. The flies will be on you and your officials. The houses of Egypt will be full of flies. They will be all over the ground too. But I will not treat the Israelites the same as the Egyptians. There will not be any flies in Goshen, where my people live. And this way you will know that I, the Lord, am in this land. So tomorrow I will treat my people differently from your people. This will be my proof.
So the Lord did just what he said. Millions of flies came into Egypt. The flies were in Pharaoh's house, and they were in all his officials' houses. They were all over Egypt. The flies were ruining the country. So Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron and told them,
Offer sacrifices to your God here in this country.
But Moses said, It would not be right to do that. The Egyptians think it is terrible to kill animals as sacrifices for the Lord our God. If we do this here, the Egyptians will see us and throw stones at us and kill us. Let us go 3 days into the desert and offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. This is what he told us to do. So Pharaoh said,
I will let you go and offer sacrifices to the Lord your God in the desert. But you must not go very far. Now go and pray for me.
Moses said, Look, I will leave and ask the Lord to remove the flies from you, your people, and your officials tomorrow. But you must not stop the people from offering sacrifices to the Lord." So Moses left Pharaoh and prayed to the Lord. And the Lord did what Moses asked. He removed the flies from Pharaoh, his officials, and his people. None of the flies remained. But Pharaoh again became stubborn and did not let the people go. Matthew 26, verses 47 to 68. While Jesus was still speaking, one of his 12 followers, Judas, came there. He had a big crowd of people with him, all carrying swords and clubs. They had been sent from the leading priests and the older leaders of the people. This follower who betrayed Jesus planned to do something to show them which one was Jesus. He said, "Man I greet with a kiss is the one to arrest." So he went to Jesus and said, "Hello, teacher." Then Judas kissed him. And Jesus answered, "My friend, do what you came to do." Then the men came and grabbed Jesus and arrested him. When that happened, one of the followers with Jesus grabbed his sword and pulled it out. He swung it at the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. Jesus told him, "Put your sword away. People who use swords will be killed with swords. Surely you know I could ask my Father, and he would give me more than 12 armies of angels. But that would not agree with the scriptures, which say that this is the way it must happen." Then Jesus said to the crowd, "Why do you come to get me with swords and clubs, as if I were a criminal? I sat in the temple area teaching every day. Why didn't you arrest me there? But all these things have happened to show the full meaning of what the prophets wrote." Then all of Jesus' followers left him and ran away. Jesus before the religious leader. The men who arrested Jesus led him to the house of Caiaphas, the high priest. The teachers of the law and the older leaders were gathered there. Peter followed Jesus, but stayed back at a distance. He followed him to the courtyard of the high priest's house. Peter went into the courtyard and sat with the guards. He wanted to see what would happen to Jesus. The leading priests and the high council tried to find something against Jesus so that they could kill him. They tried to find people to lie and say that Jesus had done wrong. Many people came and told lies about him. The council could find no real reason to kill him. Then 2 people came and said,
"This man said, I can destroy the temple of God and build it again in 3 days."
Then the high priest stood up and said to Jesus,
Don't you have anything to say about these charges against you? Are they telling the truth?
But Jesus said nothing. Again the high priest said to Jesus,
You are now under oath. I command you by the power of the living God to tell us the truth. Are you the Messiah, the Son of God?
Jesus answered, You could say that. But I tell you, in the future, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right side of God, the powerful one, and you will see him coming on the clouds of heaven. When the high priest heard this, he tore his clothes in anger. He said,
This man has said things that insult God. We don't need any more witnesses. You all heard his insulting words. What do you think?
The leaders answered,
He is guilty, and he must die.
Then some there spat in Jesus' face, and they hit him with their fists. Others slapped him, and they said,
Show us you are a prophet, Messiah, and tell us who hit you.
Psalm 19, verses 7 through 14. The Lord's teachings are perfect. They give strength to his people. The Lord's rules can be trusted. They help even the ignorant become wise. The Lord's laws teach what is right. They bring people joy. The Lord's commands are full of light. They show us the way to be happy. Respect for the Lord is good. It is always the right thing to do. The Lord's judgments are right. They are completely fair. His teachings are worth more than gold, even a huge amount of pure gold. They are sweeter than honey, even the best honey dripping from the honeycomb. Yes, Lord, your teachings are a warning to me, your servant, and obeying them brings a great reward. People cannot know all their own faults, so forgive me when I sin without knowing it, and keep me from doing what I know is wrong. Don't let sins like that control me. Then I could be free from guilt, innocent of sinning on purpose. I hope that my words and thoughts please you. Lord, you are my rock, the one who protects me. Thank you, everyone. That was day 41. Join us for day 42. The plagues get real bad in Egypt. What started off as just a nuisance like frogs and gnats now starts to turn into death itself. Animals and people are tortured and killed. And then what seems like the ultimate plague, God brings darkness on the land. And in the book of Matthew, the arrest of Jesus does not only just affect Jesus, but we get to see what happens to Peter and the ultimate end of the betrayer, Judas Iscariot. We hope you enjoyed today's verses. Be sure to leave us a positive review and to share this podcast with your friends and family. Please join us for the next episode as we experience the Bible in 1 year.
Did you know we offer online courses in creative writing, literature, and web design? Visit us at storymaster.online to learn more.